All right, we're going to get started. Hello, everyone. I'm Nora Bryson, the digital editor for the American Philatelic Society, and I will be hosting today my wonderful colleagues, Wendy Mazzordi and Carol Hoffman. Carol is the director of sales for the APS, and Wendy is the director of membership and shows. And today they're going to be walking you through some of the high points of APS StampStore, which is hosted through HipStamp. Take it away.
All right. Thanks, Nora. I imagine at this point you folks can see my screen, 5 reasons to buy and sell on the APS Stamp Store. I'm Wendy Mazzordi, as she said. I'm the Director of Membership and Shows. We're going to do a short presentation, and then we're going to go over to HipStamp itself, search around a little bit, show you some things, and then we'll open to Q&A afterwards. So to get things started, I just want to let you know that HipStamp was established in 2016 and has since become one of the leading online marketplaces for stamp purchases around the world. The APS partnered with HipStamp in December of 2022. This partnership brings together a world-class e-commerce system, along with the confidence of the world's largest stamp collector organization, which is the APS, which we've been established since 1886. So you might ask, why would I buy from the APS HipStamp store? Well, first, I want to point out that we do have over 400 member sellers on our store. They send material to the APS, and we then post and sell for them. We have over 200,000 items on our store, ranging in prices from $1 to $2,000. So to start, the 5 reasons. Reason number 1 would be to buy in confidence from APS members. Well, what does that really mean? APS members abide by a code of ethics. So what that means is that anytime you might have a problem with seller or anything, you can contact the APS and we help resolve issues among the members. So actually, it's just an extra sense of security that you're buying from a trusted source. Number 2, 30-day money-back guarantee. So basically, if you receive an item from us and you're unhappy with it, perhaps it's not as described or it's not as you thought it was going to be, that's no problem at all. You just contact the APS staff and we'll initiate a return. You would need to contact us within the 30 days. Something I'm going to point out here, as mentioned, we do facilitate the sale. So, which means basically all the members, sorry about that. All the items are housed here in our facility at the APS. So all the sales, all the fulfillments, all the questions, the refunds, everything is actually done by the APS staff. Item number 3, request stamp certification with your purchase. This is exclusive to our APS stamp store on HipStamp. If you're purchasing an item and it costs over $50, you can elect to have it certified. What that'll do for you, and it's super easy to do. On your checkout, all you would need to do is check a box. It's a $30 charge. It'll add it to the cart. Our staff then will turn the items over to our Apex service here in the facility. That process can take up to 30 to 90 days. You would be notified that it is over in expertising, and then you would know when it is returned. We would reach out to you and let you know the results. Let's see, item number 4, all orders ship the next business day. As mentioned, orders are fulfilled by the APS staff, so we do ship those the very next business day. Number 5, international shipping. This is a big one because with postage costs on the rise and issues with customs and different things, a lot of dealers do not sell anymore internationally, while the APS does. We have no problem taking care of that. We do have shipping rates, which are based on item cost and location. So for instance, an order to Canada, $5 item, $5 item, any items under $50 would be a flat rate fee of starting at $5. So those are the 5 reasons that we would recommend that you buy from the APS store. Next, I just wanted to show you that it is super easy to log in to our store. You can always use our original direct link, which is www.stampstore.org, or you can go to hipstamp.com, When you're here, as you can see up in the upper right corner showed on the screen, you can click on stores. From there, you can see we're listed among the top StampStore sellers. We're listed there. You would just click on our logo and it'll take you into our store. Once you're in the store, we'll show you here in a little bit. You can do all sorts of searches by country, topics, and all sorts of different things. On this next screen, I just wanted to show you the APS member badging. That just is identifying that the person selling this item is an APS member. Again, this is just an added source for you to know that you're buying from a trusted person. This is everybody that's on our stamp store will have this, but also any APS member that is selling independently outside of us, because they can be a member of APS and still sell on HipStamp outside of our store, but that they will still have those badges on with their items. So again, that is just a great extra security that you're dealing with folks that you can trust. The next screen here shows you the Apex certification, how easy it is if you're buying an item. Again, any item that's over the $50 is going to have a little checkbox on the screen during your checkout. You can just check that, adds $30 instantly to your cart, and you can just go ahead and check out. And we'll take care of that. For this item, particularly on the screen, it is a $4,000 item. I would tend to think that this item would already have a certificate with it, being the cost of that. So that is something you want to watch when you're purchasing from the store and they're expensive items. Take a look at it. Most times it's already going to have a cert with it if it is an expensive item. And if you are purchasing expensive items, we really do recommend that you get it certified. This is just, just so you know it's genuine. And then even for resale purposes, it's just really good to have a certificate if you're dealing with expensive items. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Carol. She's going to give you the 5 reasons to sell.
Thank you, Wendy. Hello, everyone. I'm Carol Hoffman, the director of the APS sales unit, and I'm going to talk to you about the 5 reasons to sell. Since we've partnered with HipStamp, your items will have a lot more exposure because there's over 100,000 plus HipStamp buyers. And just for an example, how many orders we have filled in the APS stamp store in 2023, we filled 14,500 orders, and we sold over 74,000 items in a year. While the first reason to sell would be the hassle-free selling. We do all the work. And some people are probably saying, what does that mean? It means there's no uploading for you, there's no mailing, there's no dealing with returns. Basically, to sell, all you have to do is be an APS member, fill out a submission sheet with all the information, and send it to us, and we do everything. We take care of any returns, mailing, things like that. So step number 2, you need no internet experience or special equipment. Like I said, it's just a matter of filling out a submission sheet, describing your item, mailing us the item. So really all it takes is a stamp, a submission sheet, whatever you're going to mount it with, and a pen. That's about it. That's about all it takes. And we sell to buyers worldwide. Like Wendy said, we're one of the few places that will ship internationally. And step number 4, all buyer communications are handled by the APS. That's another thing, so that you don't have to worry about. We handle all questions from buyers, all returns, anything that would come up with a submission. And step number 5 is the best part of it all. You sit back and you receive your monthly check. And how the check process works is when an item sells, if the buyer has 30 days to return it. If there's no return on the item, after 37 days, we put the money on your APS account. And then once a month, a check will be cut when your balance on your APS account reaches over $25 or whatever threshold you have set. 25 is the default. So around mid-month, every month around mid-month, we send out the checks. And I can share my screen a little bit and take you over to Hip Stamp. Do you want me to talk
Carol, we
about
did,
this first?
yeah, we did have a few other screens here showing them how easy it is if they're looking for information on how to sell on StampStore. If they're on our website at www.stamps.org, if you scroll over the services and you click on buy and sell, it'll take you to a page here. This is not working.
And now would be a wonderful time to call out our May special. If you join the APS in May, you're going to be entered to win an airmail swag bag. We're celebrating the anniversary of airmail in the United States. So you can check
Thank you.
out our website to learn more.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, it's for the 2550, but if you're looking for an online membership, which you receive the magazine online, it's actually $20.50. So it's a great time to join the APS. Thanks, Nora. But if you click on the buy and sell, you would come to this next screen. There it's going to tell you how to sell. If you click on it, it's going to bring you in further. Carol, I can let you talk a little bit about your submission forms.
Okay, we have two types of submission forms. You can order them through us with a black background where the items can be mounted. Or if you want to download them yourself, we have a white background for like home printers. So a lot of people do that, and you can actually they're fillable forms, so you can fill them in and print them off that way. But basically, this is the submission form.
Yeah, it's
We
pretty
ask that,
straightforward.
we ask that the items be mounted in this space up here, but there are times when people will be selling bigger sets, or we do have people that sell like album pages with multiple items mounted. They will put them on the back, and the only thing we ask, if you do something like that, you have the stamps facing outward in the back, and we do like the submission to be in a page protector, just to protect the items since they would be exposed.
Yeah, something
And
that's really, go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to point out that one of the biggest things when you're selling on our store or anywhere for that matter is the description. People really want to do justice to your stamps. So you want to always be sure you describe everything, if there's any flaws, because that's where returns end up coming in. If you don't report that that it's got a hinge remnant on the back and it's got a little tear or there's perfs missing or anything. So it's very important that you list all that stuff when you're selling here or anywhere so that you don't get returns. So putting it on your sheet here is super important.
And you would put all that information down in here. And like Wendy said, that's what we tell people. The better you describe it, the less chance of returns that you're going to have.
We have a question in the chat from Jeff. Jeff says, can I sell groups of stamps if they are not a complete set?
Yes. As long as they're the same country. We like them to be the same country because they would be easier for a buyer to find that way.
So say it's like a six stamp set from Fiji. Fiji's on the screen. If you had 5 of those 6 stamps, you could still sell as long as you say,
Yes.
I have 5 of the
as
6.
long as you put the Scott catalog number, a brief, brief description, like say you have 571, but you don't but you don't have 76, but you have 77. Just kind of listed in the description here so people know what they're actually receiving. And if possible, when you do mount your items, try to prevent overlapping, because sometimes people can't see the perfs on one side or things like that. And that's why some people will use a separate sheet and attach it to the back and put it on a page in a page protector.
Gotcha.
So
We have another question here from Jim. He says, what is the cost of your service to the seller?
okay, it's a 20% commission that we take out.
And what is it for each item
each
entry?
item. And each item to submit is 25 cents. That keeps it up online for 2 years. There is an option for a third year for 15 cents additional, but you would have to contact us about that. But everything stays up for 2 years. That's 25 cents. If something sells, it's a 20% commission after the 37 days. Before the money's put on your account, the commission comes out and the money's put on your account at that time.
Back to this item on the screen, I note that we put one here that is mounted on the sheet with some tape. Something that should be pointed out to anybody selling anything when it comes to stamp and tape, you want to be super careful. I'm hoping that they have that taped on there in a way that the stamp's not going to slide up and get stuck in the stamp in the tape.
Yeah,
so you want to be careful. Yeah.
Some people will use the scrapbooking tape, which it's not as sticky as normal tape, but like up in here, if the stamp would happen to move, that is a problem. And this is what we call a batch cover sheet that you would submit with your items, and it's straightforward, just date, name, your APS number, the total number of items in the shipment, the 25% commission fee for the number of items you have, and the payment information down here. So once you fill that out and have it with your submissions and ship it to us, and then we can do all the work for you.
We have another question from Jim. He says, for beginners, is there a place where you explain the abbreviations like HH, HR, and G, so beginners know what they're looking for? Or do we have a glossary?
I think there is a glossary. We'd have to look at that on the, I think on the FAQ part on StampStore, I think there is somewhere that explains all that, because if you don't know what, never hinged, hinged, lightly hinged, heavily hinged, hinge remnant, no gum. I guess in our world, we know what all that means, but of course there are some people that don't. So yes, there is somewhere that we can go out and make sure that it is put there.
And if he wanted to like send me an email, I could send him the link. I could go out and look for it and send him the link from the website.
Perfect. And thanks for bringing that up, Jim. If we're not able to find it ourselves, we will get it up shortly. So I appreciate you bringing that to our attention.
Carol, at this point, do you want to share your screen and go over to HipStamp and we can kind of take a look around with everybody?
Okay.
Until she gets that up, just in general, I think selling with the APS, we really opened it up many years ago so that because we had a lot of members that don't have experience with the internet, and they don't have, I don't know how to scan, I don't know how to, so we really started the service, the StampStore service, years ago, so that we could really help these people, and it really took off, and a lot of people are excited that we can do it for them, and they don't have to sit around every day and get on and check, oh, did I sell anything? Should I hurry up and get to the post office? So the APS service, it is really a great thing for our members, and I know so many of them really enjoy it. So if you want to try it, you don't want to do all the work, you want to sit back and just get your check, it is a great, great thing to try.
Yeah, because even if you are technologically savvy, you might not have the time in your day to do it. And
exactly,
we're here to kind of cover that for you. And with all of the what is the word I'm looking for, Wendy? the code of ethics that you can come to expect from the APS.
Yep. Here we go.
Okay, here is the homepage of Hip Stamp, and like what Wendy showed previous, how you could find the store. You can even search for APS Stamp Store in this top search bar, or just come right over here and click stores. You will see the APS Stamp Store. Once you click on that, it will take you into all the items that we have on the Stamp Store.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few different ways to browse. If you're looking for something particular in the US, you go over here, and once you click on US, it will give you different options like stamp types, because you can
Yeah.
see down here if you're looking for air mails, postage dues, things like that. You can do
Yeah.
condition, mint, never hinged, unused, used, etc. And there's for centering, stamp format, if you want a single, if you would want a block or a souvenir sheet.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you lots of different items. You can even search if it has a certificate, because anything listed on the APS store over $500 will have some type of certificate. It's not always an Apex certificate. It could be from another expertising firm. You could,
Yeah.
we don't grade stamps here at APS. They usually, the grade's usually not down, but
Mm-hmm.
year of
Yeah.
issue, if you want to do that. So that gives you lots of different filters.
Yeah.
There is another option to search for things up in this top search bar up here, because every once in a while some people can't find certain things. So I will have them go up here and search. I mean, once you do a search, I can do a little search like to up here, like just say I'm looking for US 242. This will show you everything we have in the stamp store, which we have the 4 listings.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, sort button. You can do different sorts by country, catalog number, price high to low. These are all the different sorts. There is one option for, and it's exclusive to the APS store. You can search by seller ID. So if you are a seller, you have a 6-digit seller ID number. You could go and search for all your items out there. Or if you've recently purchased something from somebody, a seller off the APS store, and you like what they sell, you can go out and look at their other items.
Carol, open one of those stamps once. If you open one of those on the screen, like let's say, for instance, you really like what this seller has to sell. You know, well, I'd like to know what else. I like what he has here. What else does he have? So if you look here in the description, there's his seller ID.
It's right here.
Yeah. So from that, then, if you take that seller ID, put it in that top bar there, then you can search and just get items from that gentleman, which is really great.
And this is only for APS store.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Something.
what?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you're okay.
So once again, you go back to the store and you put it, you can put in this top search bar the seller ID, which I'm going to put it in 602546. So this particular seller has over 8,000 items for sale with us.
Wow.
And it looks like he has all different countries, US, I see some Portugal, things like that, but you can sort over here to see what he has. You can sort again over here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one nice option, because we do have buyers that like to buy off of certain people because they like their material. Or if you're a seller, say this seller, he can go out and look at all his stuff and see how his scans look and
Mhm.
what he has up, everything he has up there for sale.
How about a postal history search? I know we had some issues with some postal history at one point, so we really put some effort into getting that cleaned up a little bit for everybody. So the postal history, I believe, is down a little bit. Cover postal history.
It's under condition cover postal history.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows we have over 2,700 items for the postal history. Once you click on a postal history, you'll see like the first, and this is exclusive to the APS store, the first 100 and I think it's 20, is it 26 or 28? Characters are searchable.
Mm-hmm.
Where on the other stores on Hipstamp, it's 80 characters. So if you're describing something which postal history people might do it for where it was mailed to and from, maybe what stamp it's on, what's things like that. If you're doing postal history, we suggest that you put it all the key search things up here in the beginning, because it will go up in the description and it will all be searchable.
Something else that's nice on Hipstamp is if you come in and you do some searches on things, and then, or even what I meant to say is in our store, when you're on our store and you searched for some items, you're like, well, you know, I came in the other day and I searched for those. Okay, so it brings up all 500. Well, you can click a button and see, I was in last week. Well, I want to see what they just put in recently. You can actually click on and see just what's been posted in the last 7 days. So that is a really nice feature, because if you're constantly in here, I'm looking for duck stamps all the time, you know, so if you're like, all right, well, I'm coming back in, I'm going to put my duck stamp search in, and then I can go down. There's a spot down towards the bottom on the left where it shows even down further, Carol, on your, if you call up like United States.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if you called something up and then you scroll down, there is a piece that will say, let me see the ones in the last 7 days. Yeah, so here.
Down here.
Yeah, listed today, listed within the past week, which that's really
this
nice.
week, this month.
Mm-hmm. That's a nice feature. And they're searching, folks can search by price. Maybe you're looking for price range. The year feature is also interesting, because most sellers are like, well, I didn't write the year on there, so I guess my stuff's not going to come up if somebody's searching on a year. Well, Hipstamp is smart enough to know the Scott number, what year it is, which is a really nice thing, because most of our sellers don't think to stop and put the year in. And maybe most people aren't searching by year, but if you are, Hipstamp is pretty smart that it knows the Scott number and that it can just pick up on that. Is there
And
any?
if you are out there looking at items, you can ones you're watching, because you'll get notification like if the price was reduced, things like that. Or you can make a want list. You can put in things that items you're looking for.
Mhm.
So that's kind of a nice feature, because we do have sellers that will reduce the prices after they see they didn't sell for a while, which that's something that you can do. You can go in and reduce your own prices on the APS website. It's not done on Hipstamp, but you can do it under your account on the APS website.
So if people have questions about selling, because buying is pretty self-explanatory, I would say.
Mhm.
But if they have questions about selling or they want to talk shipping or just get more information, what's the best way to go about doing that?
They could contact me through email, and that's just choffman@stamps.org.
I'll put that in the chat.
Yep, and information's also on stamps.org. Stamps.org, how to buy, how to sell, and there's a page out there that'll help them. And yep.
One thing I do need to, or I want to point out, is if you want to buy off of our store in HipStamp, if you already have an APS login with an email address and password, that doesn't transfer over to HipStamp. You would have to create a new one on HipStamp, and it just requires an email address, password, and I think they ask for a username, because we do get a lot of people that think their APS login will transfer over, but it does not. So a new account would have to be created on HipStamp.
All right. So this is your last last opportunity to ask Carol and Wendy questions live on video, but they will be available in the APS Collectors Lounge chat. Um, uh, Jim, I see you've raised your hand, but I don't see a question from you in the chat. If you're able to put that in there, we can read it out. But yes, this is your last chance to talk to them face to face live, but they will be in the APS Collectors Lounge chat for about another half hour to answer any questions you have. And we hope to see you there.
Thank you.
Right, I'll give it another couple of minutes just to see if any questions come in. While we're doing that, I always like to ask this question when I do interviews. What's your favorite stamp, Carol?
Something with a pig on it.
I should have known. I should have known. Carol collects pigs in postal history and stamps, and she has a wonderful collection. So if you're ever visiting us in Bellefonte, PA, you should come see it. It's great. Oh, okay. Here we go from Jim. As a buyer, can we request that stamps be tracked in the mail?
Yes, all orders over $50 are mailed with tracking. Orders under $50 do not have tracking.
Gotcha. All right, perfect. And Wendy, right before we go, what's your favorite stamp?
I don't have just one. As you can see above my head, flowers. I love flowers. I have a Snoopy collection. I have Bugs Bunny. I have James Dean, topicals. So
Yeah, topicals are pretty great. I'm
they are.
biased that way, but they're so cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for this portion. Again, Wendy and Carol will be live for about half an hour in the APS Collectors Live Lounge chat. So if you have any questions, please feel free to send them to Wendy and Carol there. And thank you so very much for joining us. And we hope to see you later in the show.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.